Hey everybody, welcome to Wright at the Movies. If you're looking for reviews on movies, you've come to the right place. Today I'm talking about A Cure for Wellness, directed by Gore Verbinski. Yeah, you know Gore Verbinski, the dude that did the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy, and The Lone Ranger, and Rango. Yeah, he's making a horror movie now. Long after the dust has settled from the Disney money machine, he's finally back at it with this horrific, scary, terrifying, offbeat, and original horror movie, and I was kind of hyped to check this thing out. It looked intense. Because make no mistake, while The Cure for Wellness is not a perfect movie, it's definitely a really scary movie. So Dane DeHaan plays this cocky businessman, and he's working his way up that corporate ladder, and one day his bosses tell him he has to travel halfway across the world and pick up an old employee. He's staying at a mental hospital. So when they go down there, it's not just any mental hospital, it's a horror movie hospital. Ooh. So that's flickering lights, that's hallways that go on forever, that's really quiet doctors, and it's really attractive nurses, and the whole thing just oozes creepy. You know, like usual hospitals. Then we start trying to figure out this hospital. We start finding clues in the basement, we start finding clues in the doctor's main office, everyone's being really weird, everyone's being really sketchy, and all the patients are acting like zombies. And then the movie happens.
You plan to take Mr. Pembroke back with you?
Is that a problem?
He's a patient, not a prisoner.
You can say a lot about The Cure for Wellness, but one thing is certain. It is definitely original. Original is a really nice way of saying it's completely disgusting. There's imagery in this movie that I've never wanted to see before in my life, and I will never be able to unsee now. Because this movie is vile, disgusting, uncomfortable, and unsettling, and the most horrific movie I've seen in years. Some of the imagery in this movie could only be thought up by one of the darkest and most twisted minds of our time. The man who directed Rango. Ooh.
You here for the cure?
No. Actually, I was just leaving.
No one ever leaves.
On its surface, it's somewhere between Crimson Peak, Shutter Island, and The Shining, except deeper than any of that. It's not just combining different things from horror movies and throwing it together. It actually still has a point. It's got twists, it's got shocks, and boy does it have scares. From the very first frame, I was uncomfortable, and I never really stopped feeling uncomfortable. This is 2 hours of seat gripping, balls shriveling, pants pooping nightmare fuel. There's no jump scares, there's no monsters, there's no shaky cam. This movie's classier than that. Sorta. Kinda. Okay, it's not actually all that classy, but you know what I mean. When I'm watching a movie in the theater, I always ask myself, will this movie matter in 10 years? Will people still be talking about this movie? Does it matter to the overall art of cinema? And sometimes that question is easier to answer than others. And I don't know how A Cure for Wellness will survive, but it will definitely find a fan base. Maybe a fan base of a bunch of crazy people, but it will still find a fan base. It's the kind of movie you might need to watch even a couple times in order to fully appreciate it, but at the same time, I don't know if I ever want to watch it again.
Some patients experience visions. Just the toxins leaving the system.
The visual directing, the way the camera moves, and even the sound design is enough to give somebody an anxiety attack. I would know because I basically had an anxiety attack. I had to leave the theater for a good 5 minutes and just breathe. Much like The Shining, it feels like there's a point that's under the surface of this movie, and we're gonna be talking about it for years. There's something being said. I'm just not sure what it is. A Cure for Wellness is a bad acid trip of a movie, and there's visuals in this that I will never ever forget. Both good and bad. And I think that still should be celebrated. This is definitely an artist making art. Take that as you will.
You're trying to make me think I'm insane.
What's happening to me? It's all part of the cure.
There is no cure!
It's got mystery, it's got betrayal, it's got lies, it's got secrets, but it also has beautiful production design, incredible cinematography and directing. Those are all signs of a really good movie, but it's not a perfect movie. No movies are perfect. It definitely still has flaws. We also have a crazy long running time, a really weird repetitive middle chapter in the story, and actors that are maybe not the best. It's a reference to some of the greatest horror stories of the past and also manages to save a spot for itself itself amongst the great horror of the future. It tries a lot new, and maybe not everything works, but that's still really cool and I really respect it. I'm gonna give A Cure for Wellness 1 thumb up, and I highly recommend checking it out, even though you might hate it. Did you see A Cure for Wellness? What did you think? Comment down below. Thanks for watching Right at the Movies. Please remember to like and subscribe, and you can check out some more reviews right here.